giving thanks to the Hunab Ku, the one and only giver of movement and measure, the maker and modeler, the great central sun and black hole at the epicenter of the omniverse. I am here to do your work. I thank you for your continued energetic blessings. Greetings, Earthlings. I am Crispy, a Gaian emissary of light. Een Lak'esh, Alak'in. Namaste. I am another you. You are another me. We are one. One God-sciousness. And this is the Hunab Ku. Ha 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 ha! I wish I was shaking hands with all of you in the world's biggest Hunab Ku circle of handshakers. But for today, I am here to bring you some beautiful information about one of the highest vibration human beings on the planet at this time, named Teal Swan. Teal, today is your Mayan birthday. It is tone 2, 1, 2, 2 dots. Pretend there are little dots on the ends of my fingers, 1, 2, over the serpent. You are called Pairing Serpent. Some other systems call you Polarity Serpent, or even Dichotomy Serpent, or Balance Serpent, which I like, but we must remember these are translations of translations of translations of translations. And even among the Maya themselves, which was a region of about 6,000 kilometers, there was quite a few differential interpretations. In my system, Mayan embodiment, I call you Pairing Serpent. And this is how I see you, and that is because one day I received an incredibly powerful download myself on my Mayan birthday. I wasn't doing the meditation on my birthday, but I was doing a guided meditation about how to visualize oneself on the Mayan calendar. And all of the other sources I have found have suggested that you find your birthday, which for me is right here, and you imagine that you are going back 7 steps, and that is your male power, and going back 9 steps, or to your conception power. Going forward, counting downwards, because this is the Mayan calendar, by the way. Even though it looks like little me with my hands are wee, because it is DNA. We call it astrology, but it's not actually astrology. It's DNA-ology. This is a 260-day cycle. This is day 1, day 20, 21, 40, day 260. And your birthday on here is the serpent. Slide over to number 2, 145th day out of 260. So anyway, the other sources, the other way it's taught is using this rectangular grid. This is the Tzolk, which means count of days. In many places in Guatemala, they call it the Cholquib, which is basically the same as Tzolkin, right? It's just a regional pronunciation difference, that is all, and it means day count, or count of days. So, I memorized my birthday speech, and I was sitting in meditation, and I was doing it And then all of a sudden, zap, I got zapped with this. And nowhere else in the world is it taught like this, where you are inside the circular version of the Tzolk'in. This is the rectangular and the circular. And so there I was, and I literally felt my right hand being gripped tightly by what I came to understand as my divine masculine guide, and my left hand was open, and in it was laying the left hand of my divine feminine guide. So for you, my dear, it's the exact same, of course, for every human being. This just rotates every day. The position is the exact same. And there you are, standing on your tone 2 and the serpent, pairing serpent. And you have the same 4 guides that everyone who's born on pairing serpent has, of course, which is about 30 million people, by the way. If you divide 8 billion by 260, you get about 30 million. So there's just about 30 million of every one of these days. Isn't that fascinating? It is to me. What else can I tell you? Yes, the serpent is pretty much the most revered living creature among the Maya. Of course, they love their jaguars and their eagles. That's me. I'm an eagle. Can you see the resemblance? But the serpent, as you probably know, is all over the pyramids and the architecture of the Maya, carved everywhere, and especially here at the bottom of the pyramid of Kukulkan, which in the Mixtec language, incorrectly called the Aztec, is pronounced Quetzalcoatl, which is also known as the feathered serpent or the plumed serpent. Now, tone 2, such as you, people born standing on tone 2 have all of the same basic qualities, and people who are born standing on the serpent also all have the same basic qualities. Now, tone 2, this was another vision I was given while studying the fact that the chakras were known by the Maya, as told to us in the very first book of Hunbat's Men. He described that the chakras were known and Kundalini was known by the Maya. Those 2 words were in their language long before the Spanish got there. And if you know anything at all about the history of the Spanish conquistadors coming to Mexico, they were on a search and destroy mission. Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, Costa Rica, the pyramids go all the way down there. They burned up to 10,000 of what we now call codices. You could just call them books. So Hunbatz's opinion, which I also believe to be true, is that the teachings were lost temporarily of how the Maya actually used the chakras, and then clickety-click, this came to me. So tone 2, as you can see, is directly connected to the sacral chakra. Now, through my studies of what the chakras actually are, energy processing centers, if you will, I also was able to intuit what each of the glyphs, what chakras each of the glyphs are connected to. And the serpent is connected to the root chakra and also the sacral chakra. So you get double sacral and the root. I'm pretty much the only person in the world who will tell you that. Other people do not teach about the chakras and the Maya that I know of. So, grain of salt, sprinkle, sprinkle. What else can I tell you before I really dive in here? Oh yes, about tone 2. Looking at, isn't it interesting that this book, the spine of this book is orange and purple, so you've got the crown chakra there. In this book, now the Toltec would appear to be different from the Maya, but they're not. That's just a regional name, okay? However, I think the Toltec, stopped using the calendar around the time of the conquest. They sensibly fled the area where the conquistadors were flocking, and I think they forgot the calendar or decided to leave it behind. However, the wisdom kept developing. Now, here's what Victor Sanchez says about our dual nature. This is page 23. I'm just going to read a little bit to you. Our dual nature, by denying everything that is outside the boundaries of the rational mind, modern humans have denied half of themselves. The indigenous Toltec people of Mexico did not make that mistake. They knew that we are double beings. They knew about the double nature of the world. That is why they called the world Omeyocan. I'm not sure if that's the exact pronunciation. Omeyocan, or the place of duality. This is why they give a name for each side of the world, and for each side of the duality we are. They named our rational side, which I call the ego, the tonal. And they named our mysterious side, which I call the soul, nagual. Now, a little bit more. Unlike the Aztecs, the Toltecs envisioned the two sides of the duality as the promise of integration represented in the flight of Quetzalcoatl. In the Toltec vision, the eagle does not kill the serpent. The two creatures become one in the rebirth of a new being, the plumed serpent. With the awareness of our dual nature, we can understand better what has happened to us as members of the modern Western culture. We have lost contact and even the awareness of our magical side. In forgetting this, we have lost the source of our power. And it is through Mayan embodiment that I give people back the source of their power, I believe. First of all, every single human being has divine feminine and divine masculine qualities. You can see precisely what they are. So beautiful. So, Teal, a little bit more in general information. The serpent glyph, being red, is connected to the direction of east and the time of sunrise and the season of spring and the physical body. There's 4 directions, 4 times a day, 4 seasons, and the 4 bodies. The other bodies being the blue of the emotional body, and that's your divine feminine and divine masculine are both blue and grounded into the emotional body. And we also all have the spiritual body, which is white, and the thinking body, which is yellow. I'll talk more about yours later. The serpent, as you can imagine, is a very physically oriented being, very sensual. So flavors, smells, and textures are very important. The feeling of the breeze on the skin, the sand under the feet, sensual, very important. Yes? Even so, the serpent is also very well known to be a cerebral sign. Some other famous serpents are Tone 1, Oscar Wilde, initiating serpent. Ken Wilber and Russell Brand are Tone 4, stabilizing serpent. Barbara Marks Hubbard is Tone 5, empowering serpent. Mitch Horowitz is Tone 8, harmonizing serpent. Jose Arguelles, is Tone 10, manifesting serpent. And boy, oh boy, did he ever manifest. Yes? Both Chogyam Trungpa and Stephen Hawking's are Tone 11, resolving serpent. And Dr. Masaru Emoto was Tone 12, understanding serpent. So as you can see, there's a lot of the thinking body happening in many of our serpent exemplars, as I know is true for you, Teal. Now, one other thing I think is rather cool is that you share the exact same Mayan birthday with Lisa Marie Presley. But let's get back to you, and I'm going to tell you about your core self, which is what I call you, your birthday, your core self. And then there's the 4 guides. And obviously each of the guides are made up of a glyph and tone as well. So there's, if you think about it, 5 glyphs and 5 tones that really go into making up who you are. So first of all, everyone born standing on tone 2 has the following qualities. Now, I think you should probably know that I've read every single English book or website that I could possibly find to distill and extract my information that goes into Mayan embodiment, and I do feel that it is authentic and valid. There are many other websites and books that other people can check, anyone can check, and decide what feels true for you. But if you only ever come in contact with Mayan embodiment, I promise you that it will serve you well. And here are all of the key code words that I feel apply to all serpents. So as you can see, that's a lot of key code words, and what I always do for my clients is make what I call high vibration phrases for each position, which means I take a word or phrase from the tone and a word or phrase from the glyph key code words and I put them together. Now, there could be about 130 for each of those 5 positions, so that's a lot. I can't even do the math on that. Potentially, that's how many high vibration phrases there are. So from that massive amount of information, I filter it down, usually into 3 for each position. And here are the 3 that I intuited for you, Teal. Transcending duality, visionary, passionate relationships, equanimous intuition. Now, I don't think I need to debrief those terms for you. If you want the whole document that I do provide to my clients, it's about 20 pages. Please just email me and I will more than gladly send it to you. Okay, so now, one of the interesting things about Mayan embodiment is that it let me see. I had been studying the patterns for years and it never was clear just by looking at them with this system. But the fascinating thing here is to get to your past wisdom guide, you take 8 steps back. 1, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So you can do that, and that's exactly what's happening here. To get to your past wisdom guide, I always start with the past wisdom guide. Makes intuitive sense, but also with the tones, you've got 7, 8, 9, 10, so that's the order in which I teach them. That only happened because of the first download I got. I don't know what other orders, other Mayan astrologers teach them in, but in my system, past wisdom, divine feminine, divine masculine, future vision guide. It's also kind of cool that when you're standing here, to get to the future, you go forward, which is the feminine. To get to your divine feminine side, you must count 6 steps forward. And then even your future vision guide is also your left-hand side, which is your right mind. So you are looking up. I've got you looking directly at us. But what happened to me was I was looking up. I felt my hands being gripped. I was thinking back to the past and envisioning with my right mind the future. This whole download lasted 1 second, by the way. Enough about me. So, for you, being on the serpent, we count backwards 8. And I'll do that for you. The serpent is the 5th glyph. 5th glyph. 5th glyph. The serpent is the 5th glyph. Whatever. So go back 8, okay? 4, 3, 2, 1, 20, 19, 18. 17th glyph is what I call Gaia. Other systems call it Earth or even earthquake. That is one of the key code words. But I think Gaia, which is the soul of Earth, is a little bit more appropriate for us here and now. So, a little slight difference in terminology of Mayan embodiment. Tone 7 is reflecting. It is equal 6 on either side. It is the crown chakra, and Gaia, as you might imagine, is all 7 chakras. So your past wisdom guide is reflecting Gaia. Crown chakra, double time. All the others still lit up. Now, here are 3 high vibration phrases that I have intuited for you that from your past will give you wisdom. Observational introspection, counseling liaison, and neutralizing imagination, which has a double meaning I'm sure you can feel into. Now, Teal, a few years ago, I watched your documentary, Open Shadow. And how can you not? I felt a deep connection with you, which I think was your intention. And just last night I decided to watch it again before making this video today, on your Mayan birthday. Today is the 11th of August, by the way. I won't be able to upload this video today, so you will not be watching it on your Mayan birthday unless it's exactly 260 days from now, which could happen. But back to dates and synchronicity. In Open Shadow, you were talking about going through the process of actual counseling with a therapist, and of course you were showing your journals and many clips of the journals, and I do believe there was maybe only one place, I'm not totally sure, but there was definitely one place where you showed the date. You showed the date, October 16th, 2005. So there I am watching last night, and I thought, oh, I should check that date. So I put it into the system. And that date is your past wisdom guide. And this is proving the synchronicity in the universe and in the Divine Mayan calendar. That one date. I'm not going to go on and on about it. October 16th, 2005 was reflecting Gaia. And it is quite possible that that one date was the most crucial pivot of your healing journey. I can't possibly say that, but in the video that I saw, Open Shadow, it appeared as though that one date. Okay. All right. Now, as I said, the order in which I teach them. Past wisdom. Then we go across from the right hand, which is the left mind processing data. We go into the left hand, which is the right mind, the heart, and your divine feminine guide. Tone 7, we go down to tone 8, which is called harmonizing. And the glyph here is the monkey. Now the monkey is very famous for its playfulness and its art, its artistry, its creativity. Tone 8, a bar, which is 5 fingers, but it is shown as a bar, and 3 dots. A bar and 3 dots is quite an intense tone. It's called harmonizing in Mayan embodiment terms, but it's also got this freedom fighter mentality. And here are some of the key code words to let you know what I mean of tone 8. And you combine that with the monkey, and here are 3 high vibration phrases that I have chosen for you. Artistic weaver of time, claiming justice for the inner child, and eclectic tranquility. What? I am telling you, this is a vibration that is your divine feminine side. Eclectic tranquility. That is also making the hair stand up just lightly. So, from the left hand, right mind, Divine Feminine Guide, we slide across your heart chakra to your right hand, Divine Masculine Guide. And I just want to say that these guides are not separate entities to you. They are part of who you are. We are all Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, as I said. And these guides, which appear to be different glyphs and tones, and which they are actually part of you. Your inner and outer self is composed of your core self tone and glyph and your 4 guides, and also one other aspect which I will explain later. But these guides are you. Maybe you've heard the famous Mayan saying or mantra, Een Lak'esh, which I believe is best translated as, I am another you, you are another me, we are one God-sciousness. The Maya knew that the Hunab-Ku is the maker and modeler, the one and only giver of movement and measure. And you will notice that the Hunab-Ku is precisely composed of 2 elements, white and black, which stands for the light going out and the vast no thing inside of which everything happens. So these guides that I'm telling you about are you, okay? They are your qualities. Now, you have this harmonizing monkey over here, and your right hand, man, as it were, is actually the most feminine, the most divinely feminine glyph of the whole 20 glyphs. It is called the rainstorm, and take a close look. Granted, this is Crispy's interpretation of Kawak, and as you can feel into, there's a lot of coding here. And remember, to the Maya, your Divine Masculine Guide is your action-oriented public face. This is the you that the people see when you go out and you do what you gotta do. And obviously, you like to throw a little lightning here and there, don't you? But you are always the calm eye of the hurricane. Did you know, by the way, that the word hurricane is Mayan? It's one of the very few Mayan words that made it into the English vernacular. It comes from Hunrakan, the god of storms, and the god of wind, and the god of rain, and the god of lightning. Hunrakan became hurricane. I think it should be called Hunrakan only. That Hun, by the way, is the same Hun as Hunab-Ku. Full glottal stop, just like Een Lak'esh can join together, Kesh and Alak'in. And K'in, by the way, means every one of these 260 days is a K'in, and therefore every human being is a K'in. And the sun is called Ahau K'in. Some people call it K'in Ahau, and it is our God, as in our Father of all life on earth, and the earth, or Gaia, the soul of earth, is our mother, the mother of all life on earth. Isn't that cool? So, K'in is the pronunciation. Een Lak'esh ala K'in. And that is the divinity aspect coming through. We are divine fractals of God-sciousness. Now, here are your 3 high vibration phrases that I have intuited for you that just might help you in your public face, in your outward activities. All right, here we go. Intentional, tough love. Steadying purification. And resilient teacher. I'm not making this stuff up, okay? I mean, I am. I just put those phrases together out of the possible 130 phrases, but those are there. I'm telling you. They're in this. They are in here. And just because I was shown how to look at it in a different way from everyone else, I can see things that no one else can see. Perhaps. I don't know. If you went down to Guatemala, and found a ashkib, a day keeper, a Mayan wisdom holder who could do your Mayan astrology for you. It's not really astrology. Perhaps with an adept translator, you might come up with the phrase resilient teacher or intentional tough love. I super doubt it though, but I am telling you, it is valid, it is true, it is real. Now, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is the 2 hands praying, 2 hands in the Hunab Ku, 2 hands working together, making deals, getting stuff done, collaborating, and it's you just working with your 2 hands. And the glyph for you in this position is called by me corn, and some other books, translations. Many of them call it reed, which is more of a Mixtec, the Mexico City region. It is also called cane, and by that I believe sugar cane, or it's corn, cane, reed, bamboo, okay? So it's all of these plants that grow up that are absolutely crucial for life, daily life. There's no other plant more important to the Maya than corn, which is why I call this glyph corn. Now, if you look at the glyph, you can see these 2 pillars of light beams, energetic light beams, coming up from the center of the earth. And then there's the earth line, the horizontal, and the 2 beams of light coming down from the heavens, as it were. And you, dear Teal, and every single other human being stands on that earth line, connecting the pillars of light from the heavens to the earth. Now, here are 3 high vibration phrases that just might help you in the future. Co-creating pillars of light. Compassion is your staff of authority. Pragmatic partnerships sustain your abundance. Wow, that's crazy. Now, one of the things I have found over many years of doing this is that people who are already very much on the vertical path towards ascension are already using all of their guides, as it were. They're already using all of their qualities. So you are already using, you are co-creating pillars of light everywhere you go. And it's in here, okay? So awesome. Now, I need to tell you about the Mayan cross. So, now what I'm going to tell you relates to your 4 elements, 4 directions, 4 colors, 4 seasons, and like I said earlier, the 4 bodies. You, being red, are the physical body. Your superpowers of divinity, of masculinity and femininity are the emotional. But you also have white and yellow. And here's how that works. You are the 5th glyph, as I mentioned. So you are directly connected to these other 3. The 10th, 15th, and the 20th. 5, 10, 15, 20. It might be a little easier to see like this. That's where it comes from. It is this. It is the exact same thing. So not only is this pattern directly connected to you, this is too. And that is how the 4 directions, the 4 colors, the 4 elements come together. So for you, your spiritual side is the dog. And the dog is all about love and loyalty. It is also a fairly sexy sign, as in powerfully connected to sex and love and sex. Yeah? Okay, good. And these are what I call the step families. There's only 5 because each family contains 4 members. And can you guess why I call them step? Well, this has to do strictly with the 4 bodies: spiritual, thinking, emotional, and physical. Your emotional side, other than the monkey and the rainstorm, is the eagle. Okay? So the 15th and the 5th glyph, as you can see, are directly across from each other on the wheel of 20. So it's like you're looking at me. Did I mention I'm an eagle? I'm tone 7. So when we do this, it's not really appropriate to talk about the tones, because if you think about it this way, counting backwards from, let's say, tone 7, you go back. Well, right here, you're also counting forwards, and then you've got 2 tones for this one. So what this actually means is a spiral, like a slinky. That's what's happening forever and ever and ever. It's also a DNA spiral, okay? Are you with me? Which, by the way, can never be cut and chopped, like the dream spell says happens every February 29th, which is complete and utter bullpucky. It's impossible to chop swipe the time-space, space-time continuum. It's foolishness, it's silly, it's a game, it's a distraction. Ignore. There is only one Divine Mayan Tzolk calendar. This is it. And this is it. It's kind of cool. And it's also spiraling like that, like I just said. So, if you want the full documentation, I will send it to you. It is filled with lots of reedy thingies. And who knows, maybe you got some time to read and you would like to see what actually goes into a full reading that I give to people, which also includes a Zoom meeting, because invariably what I give also brings up a lot of questions. And indeed, there is a large shadow work component to Mayan embodiment astrology, DNAology. As you can see, with your own core self only, there are 6 shadow side words that might mean something to you. And of course, that also means there are 6 for the divine feminine, divine masculine, and past and future. And so, invariably, it brings things up, which is why I like to do a Zoom with my clients, to clear things up. So, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much. I just also would like to point out the fact that this is my new man cave, as it were, my new altar, my new shrine. I just moved into this house 16 days ago today, and partly the reason why I won't be able to upload this video today is because I've got so much other work to do, including guests coming tonight, our first guests, and I have to go hide some moving boxes and chop some veggies. So, Teal, Een Lak'esh, Namaste.